What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Nice Catch Podcast, where we're here to catch you up on all the latest football news and analysis. I'm Baden.
And I'm Hank. Today, we are diving deeper into our analysis of the 2026 NFL Draft, talking about some of the most improved teams, some of our favorite draft classes that you might have missed, some of our favorite picks and late round storylines, everything else you could want to know. Last episode, we did a more in-depth look at the first round. So if that's what you're looking for, go back to episode 49. But this one is episode 50.
Whoa. Episode 50.
Is a little crazy. Looking back, starting this, hey, Baden, let's do a sports podcast as we're in high school. And
we just had one conversation that went all of after youth group about just something, just about sport, about football. And then Hank was just like, Baden, what if we did this? Now 2 years, this will probably get into you. This probably get into them in June, probably early June. Mm-hmm. And so, a year and 2 months. Yeah. Or 2 years and 2 months. Mm-hmm. 50 episodes. That's a lot of fun.
If you're out there listening, not a lot of podcasts get to 50 episodes.
No, that's very true. We're here, consistency.
Exactly.
Discipline.
Yeah. If you're coming across this podcast and wait, why have I 50 episodes? Why have I never heard of Nice Catch? Well, you have now.
You have now. But welcome to the Nice Catch Podcast.
Enough about us.
Yeah.
Let's give you the football content you deserve.
We're here for you guys.
That's not about us.
Yes. Call forward to the outro.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Gotta not miss that one this time. But I think it's just jump in with some of our favorite overall classes. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of classes that I like. I have kind of my top 5 and then one that I liked a lot that a lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
Well, you might be able to guess already. But I think one that's really easy that jumps out, but that I did like a lot was the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Because this team, they're not a good team. That's no secret. And they had 3 first-round picks that I think they did exactly what they should have with each of them. We knew number 2 overall was either David Bailey or Mel Reese. Whoever they picked there, it's going to be a great pick, fill a need that they had. Going Kenyon Sadiq, I was a little surprised they didn't go receiver here, but seeing what they did at number 30 with Omar Cooper, receiver, all of these picks I think were perfect. And then you go next pick, D'Angelo Pons, getting a corner, great value at number 50. These first 4 picks set the Jets up really well this year and going forward once they do find their quarterback. Just a great draft where you know you're not going to win this year. So set yourself up for the future by giving yourself the pieces. And then take a shot on a late round sleeper like Cade Klubnik. Maybe this could be like a Dak Prescott type drafted in the 4th round. Highly recruited out of college. Could end up being a great pick. Yeah. But this was overall one of my favorite classes, if not my overall favorite.
Definitely. I think that's an easy one. It reminds me kind of it's different, obviously, in its own way, but with the Texans a few years back, where you're just trading very wisely to get real superstars, or people that seem like they're going to play out of superstars. And having 3 first-round picks, you did your management right at that point. Hopefully you didn't give up too much, but they got themselves, as a bad team, they got themselves in the position they need to be to get better, got 3 great first-round picks, really filled holes that they needed. And so, like you're saying, even maybe, sometimes you just sneak in a little quarterback, sometimes a little Brock Purdy, and of course, Cade Klubnik was taken a lot earlier than Brock Purdy, but you just get a guy who you can develop, who you can make better, and you never know. Which I don't know who's going to be developing behind on the Jets. Yeah. But maybe he won't need to. Maybe he's your guy from the start.
Mm-hmm. That is the one problem with the Jets is you get these players and yes, on paper, this is a great draft. But are they actually going to perform?
Are they going to perform?
It's, the Jets.
Exactly. Are they going to perform? And younger guys, it's so helpful to have older, not just at quarterback, receiver, running back, to have people they can look up to and learn after. And it's yes, there's veterans and good players on the Jets, but it's in these skill positions, who are they looking and learning from? I don't know. But hopefully this goes well for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like on paper, definitely probably the best, not one of the best draft teams.
Do you have a number one draft class, Baden?
I think, like, looking at your notes, I think I agree with all these. I definitely have my own sleeper that is 100% not biased. But I definitely have my own sleeper. I like the Jets. I really like this is probably another sleeper. I don't know that this is like a number one on the draft class. I don't hate what the Giants did. Mm-hmm. I think there were some surprises, but even like you go, is it round 3 taking a receiver? Like I like that, especially with what we saw with Malik Neighbors, like with injury and stuff, bringing in another younger guy. I think round 3 they went receiver. Malachi Fields.
Yes, which is great value.
Early round 3. Like I think I like what the Giants did this draft. I don't know that they're one of the best ones, but I'd put that in the sleeper class. Mm-hmm. But I think probably you have like the next one, like the Cowboys. Like you have all the ones written down there, but I definitely have some sleepers that I'll throw in as we progress.
Yeah, I agree. The Giants definitely hit their first 2 picks well. We talked last episode about Caleb Downs. If that was a good decision, now we go. It fills a great hole for them, and I think it'll just be something that we have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But 2 first-round stars for sure, and a great late-round receiver, even if that is the biggest headline they have in their draft going their way. But as you mentioned, I, of course, again, not biased, really like the Cowboys draft class, and I think every analyst does. Because, one, they get Caleb Downs. That's huge. Every mock draft I did, where it's like I'm controlling just the Cowboys, he never fell to where the Cowboys were at. Always had to trade up to get, whether it was Caleb Downs or even Mansour Delane, Ruben Bain, one of these guys that the Cowboys would draft. But filling holes really well. Malachi Lawrence filling the hole on the edge. Jashawn Barham, 3rd-round pick, filling the hole outside linebacker, most likely. He played mostly edge in college, but also outside linebacker. And that is what I think most people think he's going to play, outside linebacker. Then even late 4th round, getting a tackle, getting another corner, and then getting a corner, getting offensive line or defensive lineman, and also trading for a linebacker from the 49ers.
Yeah.
Not a draft pick, but functions the same way, coming in during the draft through a draft pick.
Yeah.
But it's just not that he was
not a rookie.
Yeah, not a rookie. Just again, a great class there for the Cowboys. I have 3 others that I really liked, and then let's dive into sleepers. I'll fly through these ones a little more because they're not. I think Jets and Cowboys are my favorite 2. And then one of these is a little more unique. But Chiefs, they had about 2 holes, and they filled them.
They filled them. They did exactly what they needed to do.
Because this was a team that, again, Chiefs are perennial Super Bowl contenders, and anytime you have a spot you need filled in your roster, well, you got to do something. And they traded up, got their guy with a corner. They got a defensive tackle, which Chris Jones is getting old. You got to fill that spot. Got an edge rusher. And then even they draft a corner in the 4th round, another corner. They take a swing on a running back in the 5th and a wide receiver in the 5th. Both of these guys were big names coming out of college. And then even 7th round, why not pick Garrett Nussmeier if he's still on the board? Yeah. You see Mahomes can get injured. You need a backup for him. If Nussmeier can develop into the player he was projected to be, he could be a great backup or even someone who is traded for a few picks.
Yeah.
This was overall a class that I really liked, thought filled the holes they needed, and took some swings on some players that were, who knows whether they're going to go.
Could turn out, for sure. And yeah, the Chiefs are just, the management, everything about that, they're so efficient. Got the job done. Wasn't flashy. Got in there, did what they needed to do. Had 2 holes, filled them, and it seems like they're gonna just be another contender that everybody has to worry about, just like every year.
Yeah, I agree. The next class is one that NFL Network actually ranks as their number 1 class, and I don't necessarily agree with that. But the Browns have a lot of needs, and they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 draft picks. And I think they, again, filled their needs overall well, getting an offensive tackle in the first round, getting 2 wide receivers that both were in my top 6, and most of everyone's consensus top 6, getting Emmanuel McNeil-Warren falling down to the end of round 2, and just other guys who can produce over here. I'll mention Taylor Green more later, but like he's a freak athlete, best combine by a quarterback since Michael Vick. But like,
why?
You have Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, and Dylan Gabriel. None of those are your starter, most likely.
Yeah.
But why add another quarterback?
Another guy who's most likely not going to be a starter.
Who needs a lot of development. Yeah. I wonder if, quarterback by committee just sounds like an awful idea for the NFL. I don't know if you remember a few years ago when the Texans tried that with, I don't remember who it was, both of them. But they kind of had 2 guys both playing quarterback going in and out.
Was it like Savage and Mills? No, it was before Mills.
Because it was the year before Davis Mills.
It was Savage and David Carr? No, David Carr was a lot
way
earlier.
Before, yeah.
Savage, it had to have been Savage, which, that's sick. He wasn't that great, but with the last name Savage, I had his jersey just because his last name was Savage. Savage and goodness.
I don't. Anyway,
I know what you're talking about, and I know one of them was Savage, and I can't remember the other guy.
But unique approach is about the best you could give a quarterback by committee. But the Browns got some good players, and I think is a step up for them to where a team that is known for being bad gets some potential for, again, they're a team that's not going to win this year. This sets them up for whenever they do find their quarterback of the future, whether it's Taylor Green, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Deshaun Watson, or who knows, a guy who's a 15-year-old right now. But
I just
hopefully
don't.
not 15. But
hopefully not.
19.
Like, that's the one thing I think keeping, because I have seen people like put them as like, obviously we put them in our list in the top 5 most improved teams / like coming out with the best draft classes, but it's like it just doesn't make. I feel like the Browns just consistently make decisions that don't make any sense, and not that Taylor Green is an incredible athlete, like you said. I think that he can be a great quarterback in time, but this year's not going to be the year. And honestly, you have 3-4 quarterbacks who this year probably isn't going to be their year. Mm-hmm. So it's like that pick did not make sense to me. You're not in a place where you need to bring in a younger guy to develop under a veteran. Your veteran is, number one, still really injured, always injured, and not consistently good, even when he wasn't injured. And then you have 2 second-year guys who were very inconsistent. Mm-hmm. So it's like I don't see the vision there. And I feel like the Browns do stuff like that a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
like not to even, and of course I'm not an analyst. I'm talking on a podcast right now. I guess we have
50 episodes.
We do have 50. We are analysts. Okay, that's, you know what? That literally, I guess this is what this is analyzing. But it's like I'm not getting paid for this. But it's like I just feel like from an outside perspective, you can look at that and be like, this doesn't seem like it's helping you.
Yeah.
But that's just me and a lot of other people.
No, I agree. There's quite a few picks that the Browns have made this year that are like, I don't know. But overall, I like their class, and again, It's just like they have 10 picks, so maybe one of those 10 guys will be actually a star.
Exactly, and they filled holes that they needed. Mm-hmm. They did their job. It's just the one thing is kind of just odd. Mm-hmm. Makes it harder to imagine. It just fits into the Browns, what they usually do.
Yeah. My last team that's of my top 5 is the Eagles, and part of this is just it's always fun to see how Howie Roseman drafts their GM. First 3 picks, I think all of these are going to be guys that it's like, okay, if this really pans out like it could, this is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
Mekhi Lemon filling the A.J. Brown void, as we talked about last time. Eli Stowers taking Dallas Goedert's place eventually because he's not going to be around that much longer. Mm-hmm. And Eli Stowers was a great player in college, a former quarterback, transferred to Vanderbilt, converted to tight end. And then Markel Bell, offensive tackle from Miami. We already saw one of those drafted at number 10 overall with Francis Mauigoa. This guy plays in the other end of the line, and he's 6'9".
Yeah.
Like, I think third tallest player measured at the combine ever.
Yeah.
And then going to a team like the Eagles where he gets to learn behind guys like Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson.
They're getting him ready for that tush push.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some that's that height. They see something with the tush push with that height, I'm telling you.
I hadn't even put that together yet.
They're about to just hand him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They're like 6'9", all you got to do is fall. All you got to do is fall, buddy, and we're getting the first down.
Yeah. And this is the rest of their drafts, looking at day 3. Drafting a backup quarterback, just FCS guys are always interesting to see with Cole Payton here from North Dakota State. Hey, last time the Eagles drafted a quarterback at a North Dakota State, I haven't researched this, but I'm assuming it was Carson Wentz. And, well, he almost led them to a Super Bowl. I guess he did, but
he technically got them there. He just didn't win it for them.
Yeah, he got them on the road to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And then we'll talk more about Uar Bernard in a minute. Just the most unique player drafted for obvious reasons, having never played organized football. Anyway, we'll talk more about that later. I like the Eagles draft a lot, mainly the first 3 picks, and that was enough for me to put it on my top draft picks.
For sure.
Draft classes, I mean. And I have one sleeper listed. We already mentioned the Giants as a sleeper. Baden, who is your totally non-biased sleeper?
Okay, my totally 100% non-biased sleeper is, drum roll please, the Texans, which probably if you've listened to our episodes isn't super surprising. But, like, in all seriousness, I do think they had a very good draft, and I am going to tell you exactly why. Before every episode that we've talked about the draft, we talked about the Texans, we talked about their needs. What is it? Offensive line. Like, that is the thing. And then also another thing that we've talked about is their receiving core is so good, but so injury prone. So bringing in help there. What did they do? First round, offensive guard. Exactly what they needed to do. That is exactly what they needed. They go offensive guard. Next round, defensive tackle, which, number one, the Texans had top 3 defense, them and the Seahawks, 2 best defenses in the league. On paper, until really the last 2 playoff games, the Texans were the best defense in the league. But you think about their defensive line, but they had Harrison and Harrison? No.
Their defensive line?
They're out. They obviously have Will Anderson, and then the other side from the Vikings. They got him in a trade from the Vikings. It's not Harrison.
Danielle Hunter.
Danielle Hunter. I know it started with an H.
And even on the inside too, they have like one good. They have Sheldon Rankins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rankins.
But having depth on their defensive tackle.
Yeah, having depth on the interior, on the defensive tackle, I think that's super huge. Because, like you were just saying, like, you have Rankins in the middle, but really the 2 guys that were the 2 big names are those outside guys. So bringing some more help in on the interior line, that's only going to increase the output from those 2 outside guys. Because if you're having to worry about blocking in the middle, there's less energy going out to blocking to the outside. I mean, that's just, you can't focus on everything. And so bringing in more danger and more help into the interior line is only going to increase production. In that same round, they went tight end. So you're thinking about all the injuries and things that we have in the receiving core, bringing in that tight end help, bringing in another guy who not only can block for C.J. Stroud, but is also a passing option, a weapon there. That's huge. Then they go back to defense in round 3, then back to offensive line with a tackle, I believe, in round 4. Another guard. They go another guard in round 4. And then with the second pick in round 4, they go linebacker. So offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, offensive line again, and then back to linebacker. And then tight end in there as well. Then, first pick of round 5, safety, just continuing to make that defense stronger, more terrifying, genuinely. And then moving forward into round 6, I believe they go back to go wide receiver. So they're once again bringing in like Lewis Bond from Boston College, just helping out that kind of just unsure, just like with Tank Dell. Like, we know he's healthy, but just with his size and everything, like, that's just so... it's not a given that he's going to be able to stay healthy, especially with being injured, coming back, getting re-injured, and just with his size, as much as you, like, hate to have to think about it, like, he's just at so much more risk. So bringing in another wide receiver, and then they go back to defense in the last round. So they made their defense a lot scarier. They made their offensive line, hopefully, they're rookies, hopefully a lot better. And the offensive production receiver-wise, those weapons, is hopefully going to be increased a lot. And so I think they filled the holes that they needed, and they got some extra with, like, linebacker safety to help out that defense. They don't really need help to make it even better.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not all completely biased. I have some reasonings behind it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do think that they really did have a great draft, and they did what they needed to do.
I agree. Yeah, I like that as a good sleeper pick. And then our last draft class, we'll talk about my favorite sleeper. You might hate me, Cardinals fans, but, well, it's the Cardinals.
Oh.
Jeremiah Love, I mentioned in the last episode, this is a guy who, yes, does not fill your needs, but, like, Cardinals fans, you're not going to win this season.
Mm-mm.
Like,
you just aren't.
Or, like, if Gardner Minshew and Jacoby Brissett are your top two quarterbacks, and one of them is holding out for more contract money because he deserves to be the starter, and I don't know if he does.
No.
Like, that's just not a good situation to be in if you want to be a star team this season. And so, if you want to win more this season, you want the pressure to not be on the quarterback.
Yeah.
So you draft a star running back, and again, you look at, like, running back's going to solve all our problems. Of course it won't. You look at Ashton Genty, drafted in the top 10. But I do think your line as the Cardinals is in a better spot than the Raiders was last year. So sets up Jeremiah Love better, and then sets you up well for the future. Yes, missing on Arvell Reese or even Francis Mauigoa it's probably going to hurt. But you get Jeremiah Love. 5 years from now, I don't think anyone's going to be questioning this pick. And then you look at, other than that, in the Cardinals draft class. You get an offensive guard, second round, which I think is, or I might be getting mixed up. I forgot to pull it up, but it's pulled up here. Yes, offensive guard in the second round. I was getting confused with the Raiders because they also drafted a guard early. And I think, again, bolstering the offensive line always helps, no matter whether it's for the quarterback or for the running back. Carson Beck was, I don't know about that, but I mean, just three-way quarterback competition. Yeah. We love our quarterback by committee approaches. My guess is he gets a couple starts this season because, might as well. But then Caleb Proctor, always fun to get FCS prospects. Big guy in the middle of your defense. He and Walter Nolan, I think, is going to make it hard to run against them. And just as a whole, this class gets a lot of hate. And so even if it's not such a great class, I like Jeremiah Love enough, and even Chase Besantis, offensive guard out of Texas A&M, Caleb Proctor. These picks, I think, are enough to give it some love. Like, don't hate too much on the Cardinals.
Yeah. I feel you. I think that's a good sleeper.
I want to dive next. I want to go out of order a little bit.
Okay.
Just some late round storylines, because there's a lot of fun here that doesn't get mentioned a whole ton. And I've already mentioned both of these, and so I think it's a little bit of a natural segue into talking about Uar Bernard from Philadelphia and Taylon Green and any other late round storylines we have. Uar Bernard, we mentioned, 7th round pick by the Eagles from no college, international player pathway. He grew up, I have his Wikipedia page pulled up right here. Grew up in Nigeria, didn't participate in any athletics till he played basketball when he was 16. So, didn't play sports till he was 16.
Yeah.
At least organized athletics. Then was invited to NFL Nigeria camp in 2024, NFL Africa camp in 2025, and later joined the international player pathway and was drafted 251st overall. Their GM said, we want to take a chance. We know it's going to take a lot of time.
Yeah.
But just to get this opportunity as like what could be a crazy prospect, or what is a crazy prospect coming from Africa, having never played organized football before. He's 6'4.5", 306 pounds as a defensive tackle. And you think about the Eagles drafting international players. Well, Jordan Mailata, debatably the best left tackle in the league right now, was drafted from or after being an international player in the 7th round. So, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a trend here. Just always fun to see these kind of stories.
Oh, yeah. And you just, you wonder, like, they're not spending money on a charity case. They're not paying him just because they're trying to get a cool story.
Yeah.
There's something they see there that they're like, okay, this guy has a shot. We can fine-tune this. We can train this guy up. And so, yeah, it's just interesting to see, like, okay, what do they see? And maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't. But, like, I think it's important to realize they're not just like, we're going to get brownie points if we just get in this guy who's never played it. No, there's something they see there. And so it'll be interesting to see like how he turns out, how he develops. And I saw a video of like the first drill he'd ever done. Like you can tell it's a little awkward. He doesn't necessarily know what he's doing, but there's something there that they're trying to draw out and train up. And who knows? A season or two, he could be a big name for Philadelphia. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I agree. And then my other late round, I just call it late round storylines because then I don't have to say if I like it or not.
Yeah.
It's because, well, you have Taylor Green going to the Browns, first pick of the 6th round. I, expected Taylor Green to be a late day 2 pick. I thought 3rd round was a good spot for him. You look at Jalen Milroe.
Yeah.
Jalen Milroe is different because he was a more polished passer than Taylor Green by a little bit, and played at Alabama, just bigger name. You're going to get drafted higher if you're an Alabama quarterback. But similar, where you're not a polished passer, you're probably not going to start, maybe ever, but someone who we'd love to develop. And goes to a team like the Seahawks, where they don't need to play him. He can develop. Taylor Green is a little different. One, went later than I thought with how crazy of an athlete he was. 2, he goes to the Browns. If you think about Ty Simpson going to the Rams, like best possible spot, Browns, besides maybe like the Jets, might be the worst possible spot because there's 4 quarterbacks going to be battling for a starting spot there. Because you can make an argument for any one of them: Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel, Taylor Green. Wow, he probably would start if. Just kidding. Yeah. Just it's storyline, of course, because of all the positions for the Browns to draft. Like, let's get another one.
Let's get a QB.
Like, why not?
Yeah.
To be in the I need to look now. Dylan Gabriel was a 3rd round pick last year. Is that right? Or was he?
He was drafted. Yeah, I think 3rd round.
3rd round.
He was before Shedeur.
And then Shedeur was 5th round.
Yeah, 5th.
So in the last 2 years, in the 3rd and 5th rounds, the Browns have drafted 3 quarterbacks.
Golly. In 2 years.
In 2 years. In 2 years, drafting 3 quarterbacks at all is kind of that's. But then you could draft backups, whatever. But in just the 3rd round and the 5th round from the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But again, call it a storyline because he's an insane athlete. We talked about him having the best combine since Michael Vick by a quarterback. But he gets sacked a lot. His throwing is questionable at best, but he's an extremely dynamic runner. So maybe you go quarterback by committee. Maybe you throw Shedeur Sanders out there whenever you want, Shedeur Sanders. I'm talking about Taylor Green. Throw Taylor Green out there when you want to, maybe you can just bluff a running option.
Bluff a running option, mix it up a little bit. I definitely like Taylor Green as an athlete. I like him as someone who can be developed into a good quarterback in the NFL, but it just does not make sense where it doesn't make the Browns don't make sense there.
Yeah. Another late round storyline, if we're just talking about late rounders, is Garrett Nussmeier going to the Chiefs in the 7th round. We mentioned him earlier, but this was a good spot for him, if you're going to the Chiefs, but you're going the 7th round after some people expected you to even be a 1st rounder before this season. I thought LSU was going to be a lot better based on mostly on their defense, if you go back to some of our preseason episodes there. But this almost closes the door for him to be a productive starter because you've Patrick Mahomes, and he's probably not going to have much of a chance to start. You think about Jimmy Garoppolo. He played really well, but had to leave the Patriots before he could get a starting gig.
Yeah.
And even then, he was good. I mean, got the Niners to the Super Bowl, but was never that guy. And so Nussmeier, of course, 7th rounder, but probably not ever going to be that guy. And very surprised he goes this late and after other quarterbacks like Kaliakmanis out of Rutgers going to Washington. That was another late round storyline I wanted to mention, just looking at these late round QBs.
For sure.
We had a couple kickers drafted. That was always fun to see a kicker get drafted. No punters getting drafted this year, and no long snappers. There's been a few, but no long snappers drafted. But those are my favorite late round storylines that I wanted to mention.
For sure.
Baden, what do you think? What do you want to cover next?
Let's do some of our favorite player picks, or where they fit in best. I think that's a good way to move forward if you want to do that.
Yeah, we can just wrap up with, I don't know, our favorite 3 picks each, something like that. Just kind of winging this right now, but yeah. I'll jump in just with my favorite overall pick, and then we can just keep going down the list. First rounder, whatever round we want. But if I'm going to take my overall favorite pick, of course, Caleb Downs is an easy place to go.
Yeah.
But I might go Ioane from Penn State going to the Ravens.
Really?
Because I like that pick a lot. One, it's a great connection. 2, the Ravens need a guard. 3, Ioane is a great player. And I think that the Ravens are one of those teams that any year they could click and win it all. Mm-hmm. And I think that Ioane is an under the radar player. Like, once, of course, he's not under the radar going into the draft being the best guard in his class, but I think he's a player that can provide an X factor in a really unseen way.
Yeah.
So I might go Ioane.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's
kind of weird, but we'll go there.
I think that just off of ability, I think I'm going to go Carnell Tate. I really think, I appreciate that the Titans are taking initiative and helping out their quarterback. Mm-hmm. I really think that Carnell Tate's going to be really helpful for that offense. And I think after this draft, even though this didn't go necessarily how we expected, being able to step back and be like, okay, their defense is going to get better with this defensive coach coming in. And then you're just helping out, not even just like you're helping them out, but you're bringing in an X-factor guy like Carnell Tate, Ohio State wide receiver, to help out Cam Ward. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like you can't go wrong there. And so I think Carnell Tate's definitely one of my top player picks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. We'll see how it plays out long term, mm-hmm. but it definitely will be fun to watch. Mine is, just for the name, Ephesians Prysock. Just kidding. That's not
yeah.
I think, hey.
No, he's up there now. We already said it.
But just what a name. Ephesians Prysock. Like, I was hoping the Cowboys would draft him just so I could see Prysock on a jersey and just be watching here. Ephesians Prysock. Anyway, but if you're going to give me Caleb Downs here, like, come on. What, like, the fact that he falls down in the Cowboys' reach, filling a need the Cowboys had, being a great player, being drafted as a junior after being SEC Freshman of the Year, and just someone that everyone who's a college football fan knew his name, and then being able to come to a team that is immediately going to love him and fill a need, being able to be a day one starter in a division that has some receiver threats. It's Malik Neighbors with now Mekhi Lemon and Devontae Smith, with Terry McLaurin, some receivers who may not be the Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase type, but who he's going to have tough assignments day one. So I like Caleb Downs. If you're going to give him to me for my second pick, come on. You can't make it that easy on me.
That was on me. I think that an easy, I think if we're just thinking best fits, like we already said, it's just perfect. Mansour Delane. I mean, he just fits. Literally, he's exactly what the Chiefs wanted, and you can tell that by the way they traded up to get him, made sure that he was not missed, was not stolen from them, and he just fits perfectly. And they didn't have many holes. Get in there, get Mansour Delane, fill that gap that they had. I think that was just a perfect pick. Perfect pick, fit exactly where they needed to. So I think, that's an easy one to take off the board as just a good, that's just solid.
I like that too. I might cheat and lump two. No, I can't cheat. I can't lump two picks together because I was thinking about taking both the Giants picks. So I don't know if I pick one or the other, but I can't just take two. That's cheating.
Yeah, no, can't. New rule, can't take two.
Can't take two. It's our rules, but I want to make it fun. I don't want to cheat. I'm looking at late rounders here, trying to find a sleeper to say to throw out here, and I might just take my sleeper that was a late round receiver for the Ravens. Go with I'm blanking now. Elijah Surratt from Indiana, because the Ravens have never been a team that's receivers their strength. Lamar Jackson's always the guy, and he's never quite had those receivers. Zay Flowers is good, and they've had guys over the years with Rashad Bateman and even DeAndre Hopkins, but they've never had that X-factor receiver. And I'm not saying Elijah Surratt, being a fourth-round pick, can be that, but he gives the Ravens another playmaker. He's taller than 6'2", so helps out with having him and DeAndre Hopkins. I think Hopkins is still there.
Hopkins, he's still on the roster.
And just could add a factor that the Ravens need with having a pass catcher to help Lamar. I like Elijah Surratt a lot in this position, and just being a name that all of us, having watched Indiana, know coming out of college. And then last pick here before we probably wrap it up for the night. What do you got, Baden?
I have an actual one, and then I have one that was kind of like you were saying, because I was just scrolling through, and I was like, who can I kind of get? We have a corner in the draft named Jake Slaughter. Imagine you're lined up against. Imagine your quarterback throws a hospital pass. Everybody, close your eyes and just imagine with me.
I'm closing my eyes.
You are a wide receiver, and you are sprinting. You a little drag right across the face, right across the face of your quarterback. Maybe an inside slant. Your quarterback lets that ball loose, and you're like, "Oh, I got to catch this. I could go for a long time." And then you just hear behind you, and then you think, "Oh no, this is a hospital pass." And you start turning your head, and it's Jake Slaughter running at you full speed, and he just absolutely takes your head off. Number one, that's the coolest thing ever. Not for you. That's not cool for you. You're sad. You probably didn't catch that ball. You're probably not real happy with your quarterback. But as a fan, that's the coolest thing ever. As a Chargers fan, that's definitely the coolest thing ever. You can't go wrong with getting somebody who is a cornerback, a defender in the NFL with the last name Slaughter. That's pretty sick. And so I hope he's a hitting corner, I hope he's one of those corners like Witherspoon. Witherspoon, no, he's a safety. No, Witherspoon's a corner for the Seahawks.
Witherspoon's a safety.
Anyways, but a defensive back who's not afraid to get in there and just lay a hit. If he's one of those guys, dude, I got to look up some Jake Slaughter film and just see what kind of corner this guy is, because that center, not corner. I'm so dumb. I was saying all of this. Jake Slaughter's a center, guys.
Just imagine the same thing, but you're a linebacker going up for run blocking, and you see Slaughter coming.
You see Slaughter.
Maybe not
somehow
as,
the
still.
center pulled. It was like it wasn't a guard that pulled. It was a center pull, and so he's sprinting. This 300. You see, because I looked down and I was like, oh. I look at his profile and I'm like, oh, wow, hey, it's a white corner.
I know.
I'm like, wait, he's 6'5"? I was like, he's 303 pounds. Oh, oops. It just he's pulling on a little sweep and he's running full speed, knocks your head off. Just as cool, not really, but still, Jake Slaughter. And actually, I think I'm just gonna go with him for the last name. And also, if we're just thinking realistically, what better pick for the Chargers than an offensive lineman?
Yeah.
So all around it works out together. Way to tie it together. I knew that the whole time. I was just misleading you guys. Jake Slaughter, center. For the Chargers, helping that line out. Got a sick name. Jersey's gonna look cool.
True.
That's all. That's what I got.
Love it. Well, that's our.
What a way to end it.
Yeah. Wow. That's our June episode, and gives you our overall thoughts in the NFL draft. We'll be back with some fantasy stuff, some predictions. We'll see what we got once we get back in the recording studio in a couple days before the summer. We'll be out over the summer, so we're pre-recording some stuff for you. We don't want to just leave the line silent.
No.
But who knows? Maybe like Jake Slaughter will have gotten traded before this has happened, and
exactly.
Oh no.
Maybe he'll lose a lot of weight and get a lot faster, and he will be a corner by the time you listen to this episode. And you'll be like, "Oh yeah, this makes sense." I don't know. You never know what could happen.
You never know. But that's what I got. Baden, anything else?
No. Thankful for episode 50. Thankful for the people that have listened all the way through.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Only
and the newcomers that have just hit it.
Yeah, exactly. We could not be here without you. And that's why we want to say, thanks for listening to the Nice Catch podcast. We're here to serve you, our listener, and give you the football content you deserve. If you love football, continue to tune in each episode from the off season all the way through the playoffs. This is the Nice Catch podcast.